Hello, my second through fifth grade leaders. Welcome to March week number 2. This week we are talking still about forgiveness, which is all about deciding that someone who has wronged you does not have to pay or be repaid or revenged on, like for doing what they did to you or whatever it may be. And so, with that, we're still looking at that Colossians 3:13 verse, which is put up with one another, forgive one another. If you are holding something against someone, forgive just as the Lord forgave you. And so that is going to tie into today's bottom line, which is when you forgive others, it can change them. And so with that, we are focusing on the story of Zacchaeus, and he's got a really cool story that we can really hone in on a couple of different things on. And so this first activity, what we're going to do is we're just going to have some Legos, and when these Legos are out, they just get to create whatever. But whenever you shout remake or redo, they're supposed to tear it down and totally remake something new, okay? And so have them create something cool and show it to you, explain it, and then totally redo it into something different. The point of that being like we're like new creations. And so as we discover more about this forgiveness aspect, we'll see how it really changed Zacchaeus, right? And this next one, you'll have another opening activity. Basically with this, you're just having them all be in a circle, and then they explain their name and then something about them. And so when they do that, then the next person in the circle will also have to say everything that the first child just said, and then they'll have to say something new about themselves. And so first kid, his name is Johnny and he likes meerkats. Second kid, his name is Timmy and he likes drumming. And then I have to say, if I'm like the third person, then I have to say, okay, Johnny likes meerkats, Timmy likes drumming, and then I'll make up my own, right? And so kind of go through it like that as just a memorizing game, because names are important, and it's important to have a name in this story because of Zacchaeus, right? And so Jesus called out Zacchaeus with his name. So basically in this story, what we're looking at is Zacchaeus is the one that climbs up that sycamore fig tree, right? And because he could not see and hear Jesus. And so he was trying to get a better view of him when he was speaking and talking. And Jesus stops like what he's talking about, right? And calls out Zacchaeus and says, Zacchaeus, I'm going to come to your house. I mean, they've never met before, right? And so that's pretty cool. But he's like, Zacchaeus, I'm going to come to your house and have dinner. And so what does he do? He goes to this sinner's house, right? Because he's a tax collector, and has dinner at Zacchaeus' house. But in all of this, what happens is Zacchaeus becomes forgiven by Jesus. Like Jesus is like explaining his forgiveness. And Zacchaeus is so transformed by the love and forgiveness that Jesus is giving him that he wants to give back 4 times the amount of money that he has wronged anyone ever, right? And so because of that, like tax collectors, they would kind of steal a little bit of money here and there and collect it for themselves on top of what they were collecting for, the government and whatnot. And so some of that was like their paycheck, but they would also collect a lot more than they should. And so he was like, okay, I will give back 4 times what I've wronged people, right? So that's a huge transformation. That's a huge life change. So cool. And then as you go into the discussion questions right after that, transfer right into those, you'll kind of dive deeper into that. And like, how can forgiveness change someone? Do you ever spend time with God asking for forgiveness? Is it hard for you to ask for forgiveness? All of those things. And so dive into those discussion questions really deep to see if we can get them into understanding forgiveness at a deeper level. This next one, you'll have a changing stories activity page. And basically what you're doing with this is it's like a Mad Lib type thing. And so what you're doing is like you're going to insert an adjective here, a verb here, that kind of thing. And it changes some things. And so they're supposed to call out what the changes are and, and try to guess what those changes are. But it'll be fun for some of the children to also come up with some of those different adjectives and things that go along with that. Okay. Again, that's going back to changing. Okay. And so like how we can change something for the better is what we're going for there. Then you have the Zacchaeus Says activity page. And basically it's like Simon Says, but with a Zacchaeus Says, and there's an activity page that goes along with it. So work with that activity page and then go through all of that. And then I thought something was really good at the bottom of this though. Like when a friend has done something to wrong us, it hurts our friendship, right? But if someone is hurting you over and over again, definitely tell a trusted adult, right? So we don't want them to also think that if they're being actually abused in some way, that they should just keep forgiving that person, okay? Like they need to, there's limits here. Like we should also make sure that an adult knows so that they can intervene and all of that. And so just make that kind of clear with the children as well, that like if someone is harming you or putting your life in harm or something like that, then please tell a trusted adult so that we can help you through that, right? Whether that be a parent, small group leader, whatever, get me involved if it's something serious, that kind of thing. Then you have a memory verse toss, and basically you'll have your Bible's in a ball. You'll look up the Colossians verse if you want to in the Bibles. Note that the NIRV is the verse that we use, but we have NIV Bibles for the most part. So if you need an NIRV Bible that you're going to look to and work on, I have a couple in the office, and so just let me know if you need that. But basically you're just sitting around in a circle, having a ball, and as you pass the ball, you say you repeat the parts of the verse or a word to the verse, depending on how well your children know it so far and stuff like that. And so as you do it, just like one word at a time, or you can do one phrase at a time to where you hear the phrase a lot. And again, repetition is really good for memorizing. And so you can definitely do it like that. And then this prayer activity is a little bit different. Older guys or older girls and older guys, what you're going to want to do is probably more of hey, we need to write a forgiveness letter for someone that has wronged us. If you are still in maybe second and third grade, you guys might just want to write prayer requests on the cards instead, and then pray over those cards, okay? Because they might not be to the point where they can write the whole letter out and stuff like that. But fourth and fifth graders, you guys might be able to do a whole letter of just writing about forgiveness to a specific person, someone that has wronged them, right? Or someone that maybe they have wronged and they need to ask forgiveness. You can do that too. And so either way, that's what you're going to be doing in this last activity is you're just going to have blank pieces of paper, you'll fold them, and you'll make a card out of it. That is either a asking for forgiveness card or a confession of I forgive you for doing this card. Try it as the ask forgiveness first and see if they can remember times that they've wronged people, because I think that would be really important for them to just understand and know. And remember, our big three goals are connect, studying, and praying, right? And we're trying to hit these with the activities every single time. And so connecting, just getting to know them getting to know you, studying, opening that Bible together, studying the word, studying the Bible story that we're talking about together, studying what it means and how we can apply it, and then praying, right? And during this prayer, we're asking God, would you help me forgive? Would you help me see people that I need to ask forgiveness from? Things like that. And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. Y'all are awesome. We'll see you in a bit.